I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. Since you went away, I remember that day. What did you say? I'm sorry. Hey, I'm okay. Yeah, I got a job. I work downtown. I have a new car. Yeah, I get around. Hey, I'm okay. Now you're gone. No, it's not wrong. But sometimes I cry when I hear that song. You remember? Hey, I'm all right. How was your flight? You're in Singapore or Shanghai. I don't know why. Hey, but I'm okay. I heard he was from Austria or Australia. A successful guy. Not a failure. He's a CEO or a CFO or I don't know. But I want to let you know I'm okay. I got a job. I work downtown. I got a job. I work downtown.
Could you disentangle?
An opener. She's an opening act. Anyone else want to chime in before I destroy our reputation? No, but Claire Danes is awesome. She's very talented.
Cool. What about you, Bear? What do you think about Claire Danes? Very good. That's nice. Yeah.
outside. Gotta get outside. Gotta get outside. Gotta get outside. That's the last one. We don't want to be saturated.
Yeah, geez. It's cold enough as it is.
My son is one of the actors in Hasty Pudding. Today he's dressed as a bird. In the parade he was at a bird.
Does he have an affinity for birds?
No, I think he just likes wearing high heels.
Novartis. Yeah, I think it's a biology research building. I think they work on pharmaceuticals. I'm not sure exactly what goes on, but my understanding is it's biology research.
No, I'm sorry. Or maybe just general, I don't know, maybe cancer research, chemical research. I'm not really sure.
Vaguely, sometimes I sort of blur the industries together, but it's a pharmaceutical business of some sort.
That one? Or both of them? No, it's a business, right? Or is it? It's not Novartis, is it? Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Well, I just know it's biomedical. Is there anything else?
I know that I have a little history here about how you came 10 years ago, and we all wondered, why are they coming here? Who are these people and why are they coming here?
So in one sentence, I would describe Novartis as a place where there's a diverse group of people with a diverse set of skill sets, and they all work together to make new discoveries in science.
Novartis is a global pharmaceutical company with a very strong focus on patients and unmet medical needs.
In one sentence, it's getting the right medicines to the right patients at the right time. Novartis is, and that's why we're here. That's what we do.
Novartis, our NIBR, which is the research headquarters for Novartis, it combines the best in academics, the sense of urgency that you see in a biotech company, and also the tremendous resources that are available in a big pharmaceutical company. And we wanted to combine all of these things and create a very unique research environment for biopharmaceutical drug discovery. And so the Novartis sites are located in places where there's a very strong science foundation, and where we can have access to big hospitals so we can deliver our drugs to patients very quickly, and we can have a lot of fun. And if you think of all those different criteria, I will challenge you to find a better place than Cambridge.
In this building, we're almost right next to the MIT campus, pretty close to Harvard, close to world-class hospitals, Mass General and Brigham and Women's. And so there's a tremendous amount of experience in researching diseases, a tremendous amount of talent that people come from Harvard or MIT and join Novartis. But then there's also a really strong biomedical research community here. When I first learned about the history of the building, I thought it was really interesting because it used to be a candy factory, the Necco candy, which is they make those, not only those little colored wafers, but those Valentine hearts that have the little messages on them. I've got young daughters at home and they love those candies. So I thought that was pretty cool. They think it's cool I work at an old candy factory.
The water tower is actually not functional right now, but it is a landmark here. When Novartis first came to occupy this building, they actually reached out to the community to ask for different designs, and the logo that's on the water tower was actually designed by a local artist.
But also just the way the building is designed, and you can see a lot of glass, a lot of open spaces, people working on their experiments can, talk to the person next to them and kind of run ideas past them. And that's the way I think the company's trying to set itself up, is to encourage communication and openness and an ability to talk to each other so we can do our jobs better.
I'll give you just one example, how that helps in problem solving. I was actually literally walking back from the cafeteria one day, and I met a person from oncology whom I had known through my previous interactions. And so we started chatting, and he told me he's having difficulty with an assay that I had previously worked on for 5 years in my postdoc career. And he didn't know that. We happened to meet on the atrium area, and we started chatting. And I actually helped him and his colleagues to establish that assay here, which greatly helped in advancing his project.
Understanding how a drug gets approved and available gives you a sense that the drug works and the drug is safe. And so you can trust your doctor when he or she tells you you need to take this medicine, that medicine has been tested, it's been confirmed to be safe, and it's been confirmed to be to work. And so if you don't have that kind of a trust that the drugs you're taking do any good or have ever been tested, I think you might not want to take the medicines because you just don't trust them.
Oh, definitely. Well, you're using it to get better, so I would assume, like, if you want to make sure that it's healthy for you and everything, you should probably be sure of how it's made. You want to make sure it's safe, so.
Well, yeah, I do. I mean, because just so you know that you can trust it, because if you never know what's actually being put in there and how refutable the medicine is, what it's going to do to you.
I think it's important to know that our medicines have to pass certain regulations, and I know that they do.
Well, yes, because what we use for our body or what we put in our body to either supplement our health or assist us or anything, assist our health, it's important to know the origin of it.
I think it's really important for people to know where their medicines come from. I think people underestimate how difficult it is to develop new medicines, and you don't really see all the failures that do happen. So it does take a lot of effort to develop a new drug, and it's important for people to understand what we do. It's important for us to be able to educate people and to be able to share with them some of the daily things we do to help to bring new medicines to the public.
If they know how they are being developed, they will understand that the medicines work in a different way than conventional medicines that are out there for treating the same disease, how that medicine differentiates itself from other medicines. And secondly, they will also understand how safe and effective they are. So that, I think, is clearly important for patients to understand before they get started on any new medication.
We are so happy that you're growing here in Cambridge. I think that's the main message. It's wonderful to have a wonderful company like Novartis here. It's wonderful to have you grow. And we're so grateful that you're a global company, that you act locally. It's significant that our superintendent of schools is right here in the third row, and so many of our nonprofits are here also. You know the message that the community as a whole has to grow, and we can have this great biotech, but if we don't have a community as a whole, we're not a success. And you have been so much a part of making that happen.
Yes, we do a lot of community outreach, and since I've been here, I've actually been able to participate in a lot of the outreach programs. One thing that is done every year is this Community Partnership Day, and that's where associates at Novartis can volunteer to work with different organizations within the Boston and Cambridge area. So some of the things that we do on that day are help to clean up the Charles River, and we also work with different groups around here to help feed the homeless or to package toys for children. Some other outreach activities that I have personally been involved with since I've been here is Aspiring Scientist Day, which was an event that we ran through Global Discovery Chemistry, where we invited different schools, students from different schools to come and to learn about the science that's being done at Novartis. And so they could also do some hands-on experiments. And I think that's a good opportunity for the scientists here and as well as for people in the community.
I know people from my group, the Translational Medicine group, many of whom are physicians or medical doctors, will volunteer their time. Many of us have clinics that we volunteer for where we see patients once a week, again on a voluntary basis. So yeah, there is a lot of things that Novartis does as a whole company, but also individual people that work for Novartis reach out and serve in the community.
I think that our research has affected people in a really positive way. So something that I think that's great about our disease area is that we have weekly meetings, and at these weekly ophthalmology group meetings, sometimes we have patients come visit. And I think that's one of the most beneficial things as a scientist is to actually see the patients that you're affecting. And a lot of the times we've had patients, one of the patients who came to visit us had macular degeneration. And he was talking about the need to develop new drugs to treat this type of disease. And we were able to offer him, I think, some hope that we are really trying to offer new medications to treat this form of disease. So I think we're able to offer our patients a sense of hope and to show them that, we're passionate about what we're doing and we're dedicated to finding new cures.
We work on rare diseases a lot of other companies don't work on because there's just not very many people in the world that have them. But we've been successful in coming up with drugs that work for these people. And in those individuals' lives where there was no other treatment available, it's made a big difference. And then also in the broader sense, we're dedicated to finding treatments and cures for some diseases that are common, not in this part of the world, but other parts of the world, like malaria and dengue fever, that again, other companies don't spend a lot of time on researching. And so we're hopeful as we get some drugs that work against those diseases, it can make a big impact on big parts of the world.
There are two things that I think separates Novartis from most other pharmaceutical companies. One is that when we start a drug discovery project, we never pay attention to the market size or how many patients and things like that. What we only focus on is, are there a patient or a group of patients with an unmet medical need? And secondly, what we look at is, do we really understand what is the mechanism of this disease? So these are the only two things that we look at before we start a project or a drug discovery project. And that is a fundamentally very different way of drug discovery that was not there before Novartis started this here in Cambridge.
I know that you're thinking about going forward 10, 15, 20, 100 years, and I did my research I Googled quickly to find out how long NECO was here before. 150 years. So to Novartis, to 150 more years. I hope you will be with us that long doing the wonderful work that you do locally and for the world. Thank you very much.
Attention passengers, the next Red Line train to Braintree is now arriving. Next stop, Kendall, MIT.
I am Paul Matisse, and believe it or not, I did build this 28 years ago. The first time I came down to the station, I had thought that I wanted to make something that would be put into motion by the trains. But then I saw that when the train came, everybody forgot about the station and got onto the train and left. So I thought maybe the better time would be between the trains when you're waiting. So figuring out these things just step by step without knowing where you're going is sort of the origin. But I did want music, mostly. And I wanted music reverberating. That's not music.
I'm Seth Parker. I was passing through the T station, well, it was sometime last summer, and whenever I've had an opportunity to come through here, I would take a few minutes and either play with one of the instruments or another. And when I grabbed the lever arm for this one, I realized that there was no resistance. In fact, nothing was happening.
83 was when I got the commission. And then the installation the first installation was 86. Then we went on from there. Then I finished the other two pieces in 87. And then I fixed them.
And so it got the wheels turning, and I thought, geez, something should be done. So first I made a series of calls to the MBTA, and first I spoke to the station manager, and he passed me on to someone else, and I finally found the right person who's in charge of maintenance and including the artwork. And he was receptive to a volunteer group coming in.
Well, Galileo was the one at the very end, was sort of the recognition of Galileo as a precursor of the scientific era. And so it was like a thunderclap that said, now look out. And Kepler was because I was working on this ring. And I, of course, wanted it to be absolutely round. But after the fabrication, it turned out that it was a little bit out of round, which made it into an ellipse. And then, of course, one thinks of poor Kepler, who was trying to make the formulas for the circles work for the planets. Because if God had made the planets and the whole shooting match, wouldn't he have made perfect circles? Of course. But he failed, and eventually he decided to try the formula for an ellipse. And bingo, it all fitted together. Pythagoras was because when I first started, I realized I didn't even know how why people chose a certain note as a certain frequency, or vice versa. So I had to go back to my first year physics book and found myself reading about Pythagoras. So he was the beginning of all this business, and I thought that I would just name the piece for him.
What better group of volunteers than a bunch of MIT students who probably are technically very capable and maybe are musically inclined as well.
My name's Mike Tarkanian. I'm a technical instructor in the Department of Material Science and Engineering, and I've been the kind of technical lead for restoring the bells. And you know, each one of those pendulums probably has 30 parts inside of it. So it looks pretty simple.
Wow, yeah.
But when you take it apart and, you know, there's all kinds of things going on inside that we had to either fix or clean up or address in some way.
I actually would have liked to have been involved in the hands-on part of it, but I'm pleased that it went along even without me. The long-term secret, including when this one breaks again, which of course it's bound to do, is that there'll be some continuity at MIT. So as the students graduate, other students will take their place. And